Hello and welcome to Experience Share. It's a Pokemon podcast starring me, Tengar.
Gengar?
Yep.
Alex got it. Okay.
AKA Tanner Greenring. And I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Hitmontaush.
Him on top?
AKA Joshua Fjellstead. And joined for the first
I'm not going to make a gay joke here, even though it's very obvious.
time
Hitmonverse.
by friend of the podcast, former co-host of Josh Fjellstead's on his podcast, Gotta Snatch Em All, Alex Bugg. Oh, sorry, Alexecutor.
Such a good one. Executor. Yeah, I honestly thought it was going to be Steelix.
Yeah.
Steelix?
Too hard. I was like, Alex? Nope, that's just his name.
Well, and they've got to be in the most recent leg. And I don't think we saw Steelix. Did we?
No, we didn't. We didn't see Steelix. These are all Gengar, Hitmontop, and Executor were all Pokemon featured in the Elite Four.
Yeah,
teams.
Bruno doesn't get Steelix, I don't think, until after when you're in Kanto.
Oh, the rematch. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to name Josh Josh
Lugia?
after Luigi.
Oh, because
Luigi.
you encountered Luigi this week?
Yeah, but I was worried that would give you too much power. It would go to your head, you know?
Yeah.
Being named after a big legendary Pokemon. So
I
I
would have liked that.
I knocked you down a few pegs, Hitmontosh.
If Josh is going to be Louis Josh, then I just have to be Homo for Ho-Oh.
I wasn't going to assign that to you, but Alex, welcome to the show. Alex Bugg, welcome to the show. Josh was on your show, Gotta Snatch Em All, a few weeks ago.
He was.
It's also a Pokemon podcast that our listeners should all go check out. Do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your character. Tell us a little bit about your journey in Johto.
Your whole experience. Share the experience.
Honestly, boys, like, what an honor it is to be here, first and foremost. And I know that I will speak on behalf of so many of your listeners when I say that, like, this podcast has really gotten me through so much of this, like, dumpster fire that has been the pandemic. So to be here with you guys, talking about this thing that I have loved for literally my entire life, I'm so gassed and I'm so honored. So thank you so much, first and foremost.
Yeah, of course.
Do what we can.
Thank you for coming on.
Oh, honestly, it's an absolute pleasure. But so Heart Gold, Soul Silver are my absolute, like, all-time favorite games. It's been really interesting as well to play a Nuzlocke run. I've never run a Nuzlocke run before. Normally when I play games, like when I play the Pokemon games, it sounds weird, but like I never normally play with the Pokemon that I catch in the wild because I've been playing so long, like having Pokemon Home and Pokemon Bank. Like I've got this kind of library, really, this archive of all of these like various Pokemon that I've played with and that have been on my teams for like over a decade and stuff now. So like I love to do a lot of like trading. I love to do a lot of like breeding. I love to do a lot of...
Oh, you do the Pokemon Home stuff?
Yeah, I love to do a lot of like transferring between games and stuff. And I mean, as well, like for me, that like the whole breeding mechanic, you know, taking a Pokemon that I played with in like 2012 and a Pokemon that I played with in my original run through of Pearl in like 2008 and then breeding them, and the egg that is then the offspring is pretty much the closest thing I'm going to get to a grandchild. So that's normally like how, you know, so especially in like Sword and Shield and stuff, I love to play with Pokemon that almost like kind of like the offsprings of Pokemon that I've like had historically. But no, so the Nuzlocke run has been super fun. It's been really good at kind of like testing me to play in a different way, and also to be able to kind of like play alongside you guys and alongside the community of Bugg Catchers has been awesome. But no, so my character, I sort of it took a lot of inspiration from, I guess, what you guys would call like wine moms, which doesn't sound so slick in a British accent.
Oh,
yeah,
we got those.
You got those.
They're endemic to the Midwest.
Yeah. I feel like I'm a breath away from just being a wine mom myself.
Yeah, I think so.
They are just like the goddesses amongst men. But basically, I used to work at this private school where a lot of the parents were like super affluent, super privileged. Like the dads were all like CFOs and CEOs, and the mums were just like these real kind of like Jennifer Coolidge lookalikes. Like none of them had to work. They all had the same kind of like super pillowy, like filler faces, never seen without a manicure. And I just found them so fascinating. And so I would find it really funny how these kids would be dropped off in the mornings by these mums who would be like, oh, can you please make sure that Araminta drinks 2 full beakers of water today and applies SPF 50 twice today? And I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then they would pick up in the afternoon and they would just be absolutely shit-faced. they would be completely shit-faced, and it just became so obvious that they had just been out for this like 6-hour-long brunch.
God, that sounds great.
And I would just think to myself, that is the life.
What a life.
That is the life that God chose for me.
That's what I want.
That's the life that God chose for me. So, without further ado, my character is Vino, the gay wine dad.
Excellent.
He is me as a very irresponsible parent if I never had to work again. He is a good time guy, always brings the party.
So Vino's got a husband.
Yep.
Who's like, sea level or better. Who's off at work all day.
Oh,
yeah.
Definitely. Some business executive.
Maybe he's, I don't know, like Mr. Stone, the head of the Devon Corporation. That was kind of what I was thinking.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Steven's like my bratty stepson. I'll like rock up to the swim meet with one of those like aeroplane-sized bottles of Pinot Grigio in my bag.
I think Steven was Mr. Stone's lover, so I don't know if you guys are like...
It's unclear.
Of course, how could I forget? Maybe it's a throuple. Maybe I'm like the third wheel. Who knows? But basically, Vino has made the probably like intoxicated decision to go out on a Pokemon journey of his very own to sample the delights of every single grape variety of the Johto and Kanto regions.
So you're pulling up to the daycare every day.
Yeah.
Dropping off your Meowth and your Jigglypuff.
With a bottle of Pinot Gris in my clutch.
Just wasted.
Yeah. Making sure they get everything they need and then coming back just shit canning later on.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Literally that.
What a life.
And so the nicknaming convention has been really fun. So Vino nicknames all of his Pokemon after different varieties of wine, which really like lend themselves quite well to nicknaming Pokemon. Notable shout out to some of my kill count: Pinot Grigio the Forret, Chardonnay the Graveler, Sauvignon the Togetic, and for any of my British listeners, Lambrini the Red Gyarados.
You've named all the wines I know.
Same. Man, you lost a Gyarados. That's right.
So let me ask you this. The notes and sort of the profiles of these wines, are you matching them to the Pokemon like types and personalities, or is it just completely random?
Chardonnay and Graveler, I'm particularly curious about that.
So I started off with literally just like the wines that I knew.
Yeah.
And then as I kind of like ran out of the ones that I knew, I sort of really started to do a lot of research, very much in the same vein as Tony in his Fire Red Leaf Green run through, where he named all of his Pokemon after different varieties of sausage.
Oh, yeah.
So I took a lot of inspiration from that. But no, so kind of like by the end of it, one of which the Pokemon that I'm going to talk about is I caught on the leg of the journey that we're going to talk about today, which I won't give away just yet. But yeah, I sort of really started to like look at what the species of the Pokemon was, and then kind of take some kind of thread from that and just research heavily if there was some kind of wine that was made from scorpion venom or something along those lines.
Yeah, great. Ugh. If it's a Dunsparce,
you
and I cannot be friends.
And I have something to say about Dunsparce, unfortunately.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
You're coming into the season late. We took on the Elite Four this week. You've had a long journey so far. Any notable happenings you'd like to regale us with?
And what's your overall kill count? Hit us with that as well.
I lost count, but like I've had some real heavy hitters. I mean, like I said, Lambrini the Red Gyarados, which I lost to one of those electrodes in the fucking rocket hideout.
That's rough.
Lambrini, for anyone who's not British, Lambrini is like a carbonated. It doesn't really like deserve the luster of being called sparkling. It's a wine that probably would be drunk by like a conservative, no, not conservative, like Confederate neo-Nazi in Alabama if like they just like wanted to feel fancy.
Oh, sure. Well, that's a Tory as well.
Exactly right? Exactly that, Josh. No, so yeah, lost Lambrini the Red Gyarados to one of the electrodes in the rocket hideout. My starter, I lost Merlot the Quilava to fucking Whitney.
Woof.
And that Miltank.
Oh my god.
I know, yeah. Rollout being rock. It was super effective, yeah.
Yeah. Drowned it in milk, moo milk.
That's so brutal. Ugh. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Shed a tear. Rest in petals.
Rest in petals.
Rest in petals.
Well, I think Josh and I have learned a lot from our last Nuzlocke run.
Yes.
Because our kill count is significantly lower than it was last time. It makes me regret spending a lot of time making a kill count graphic for this season. Because we just never need to add to it.
Much more involved.
Yeah.
I meant to check this before we recorded, but I know for sure I lost 2 Pokemon in the Elite Four in our previous Nuzlocke run.
Yeah.
And I think that overall I was at like 8 or maybe 10 deaths.
I think lifting the level cap has helped.
Oh my gosh,
too.
completely.
Yeah, because the highest level in the entire Elite Four is like
50.
Lance's level 50
Yeah.
Dragonite, I believe.
Right.
So we would have been capped there.
Right. Which would have been difficult.
Yeah, I went into this thing with everyone at level 50.
Yeah.
My real kind of bugbear with these Gold, Silver, Crystal and Heart Gold, Soul Silver games is that they took away the Versus Seeker.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that was such a great way to grind up the levels. So honestly, the level curve in Heart Gold, Soul Silver is just impenetrable if you are just relying on battling wild Pokemon. So it was a labor of love, to say the least.
That Victory Road is just a road of like Graveler, Onyx corpses, just rocks.
Yeah.
Piles of fucking rocks.
But then, of course, like, just to let you in on our schedule, Bug Catchers, Josh moved, as you heard last week.
Yeah.
He gave me an extra week to train. So, of course, what I did was immediately go beat the Elite Four and then beat them another 20 times.
Because you know the only way that you can win is that you just completely out-level me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. It's the premise of the show, Josh. You're a seasoned Pokemon trainer, and I'm new to the series.
I beat you with 5 earlier in the season. Just as a reminder.
Beat you with 6 earlier.
The playground politics between you two, honestly, I live for.
It's a normal amount.
I will just reveal now that my kill count remains at 4, but I do want to kind of address something that's
4.
been a bit of a
-4.
hot topic in the community, and Josh's is also staying strong at 4. Received a lot of Reddit messages and tweets the week before last because I said that my Rotom died in Team Rocket headquarters to one of that Weasley little guy's self-destructs or explosions.
One of the coughings. Yeah.
Yeah. I was wrong about that, and I'm willing to admit that, and I'm
humbled.
Am I the bigger man than all of you who called me out on it? Not for me to say, but he didn't die to an explosion. The truth is, I don't remember how he died, but he died in Team Rocket headquarters, and when I was looking through the walkthrough, I was like, oh, it must have been that. But you all told me that it's apparently impossible for a ghost-type Pokemon to die to an explosion or self-destruct.
And I didn't catch this either. I didn't think about this. It's technically a normal move, so it does not affect ghost types.
Yeah.
Which is pretty wild, because you would think, giant explosion, probably going to hit anybody.
I usually capture it so I can write it on the Rest in Petals graphic, but I didn't that week, and I had to guess, and what I guessed was that. What I will say, though, is that one rule that we made coming into this season is that ghost-type Pokemon cannot be resurrected as Zombimon. I broke the rules doing that, and I fall on my knees before you, Joshua, and before you, Alex, and before you, all of the Bug Catchers out there.
Wow.
And I beg for your forgiveness. I broke my own rule, and I've released Rotom.
Wow.
And I gave $10 to 1 Million Lights Philippines to... I don't know. I guess they're making lights in the Philippines.
I'll give you a respete. We all make mistakes.
I tip my bonnet to you, sir.
And that's a hat?
Tips fedora. Milady.
Respete. So yeah, I've released Rotom and I've replaced him on the team.
Honestly,
with another Pokemon, but I just wanted to clear that up because I got so many fucking
Tanner,
Reddit messages about it.
Very good. He was sort of sucked.
I know, but I was excited about getting to the Team Rocket headquarters in Kanto so I could teach him how to be a oven or whatever, Yeah.
But also, Tanner, why did you release it? Just box it. Box it in box 12 so you're not going to touch it. Don't release it.
That's what I was saying, that he should have just boxed it for this whole leg rather than letting it potentially die.
I'm sure the purists will have my neck for it, but I'm just you've grown so attached to these Pokemon. Why release them just into oblivion? What a waste.
It's gone. Satan dragged him down to hell where he belongs for all of his crimes in the afterlife. So goodbye, Rotom. Rest in Petals. I already announced it last week. My kill count has not gone any higher than 4 because of that, but I did want to adhere to the rules. Because you know what, Josh? If you tried to break the rules, I would be on you so fast.
Oh. We all know that.
So
that's why I can't get away with anything.
I need to live up to my own standards for once. So we ended the last session
so long ago
at Blackthorn City. We took on Claire, the
dragon-type brat.
Pokemon trainer.
What a bratty bitch, honestly.
Yeah, she is a little bit of a brat.
She's an asshole.
Yeah. We went into the Dragon's Den and talked to the old master in there who quizzed us on how much we love Pokemon. I don't know. I won because then Claire comes up and she says, great, you're fine. Here's your dang badge.
Yeah.
So now we're free to go. We get a call from Professor Elm right out of the gym, and he says, hey, come give me a visit down in New Bark City, I think.
Yeah.
There's some commotion in Ecruteak City, and the Kimono Girls are looking forward to meeting with you. I can't remember when it happened. I think it happened when I went to go visit Professor Elm. But someone, I think Dawn,
Lyra?
whoever the Dawn equivalent in this game is. Yeah.
Yeah, Lyra, with the little marrow.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
She started talking to me about the egg, Josh. Do you remember our bet on the egg?
Yeah, that I hatched because I thought it was a big part of the storyline that I would have to deal with. And you thought, maybe I'll just box it, and it's irrelevant.
It's been in my box ever since. Lyra, I think, mentioned it to me, and she was like, oh, remember that egg that Professor Elm gave you? I was like, not really. She acted as though I had hatched it and had met Togepi.
Really? And you didn't have to hatch it at all?
Nope, not at all. It's still sitting in my box, completely unhatched.
Glitch in the Matrix.
That was a waste of time. I don't want that thing.
I beat the game, and that Togepi egg is still in my box, completely unhatched. So you're the real Rube here, Josh. You fell for it.
I'm the Rube, and I'll
hatch that
follow
stupid
my
thing.
Sword here, I guess.
You could have at least evolved it into a Togekiss. And the, what's the big flying one called? Is that one Togekiss?
Togekiss.
Yeah.
Chogetic is the middle one?
Togetic flies as well. They all fly, other than Togepi.
Yeah.
And Alex, let me ask you something. Do you say, over in the UK, do you say Togekiss, or do you say Togetic and Togekiss?
I would say one of the things that I enjoy the most,
because people have harassed us about this one as well.
about this podcast, is just the mispronunciation of things. And I'm by no means a linguist, but the first one I have to say, I'm pretty sure it's Lopunny, not Lopunny, because it's like a lop-eared rabbit.
Lopunny,
yeah, because it's like a lop-eared rabbit. A lop-eared rabbit has floppy ears.
We're not doing that.
But anyway, that aside, I'd say Togetic. Togetic? Yeah, I'd say Togetic. I'd put the emphasis on the tick part. Togetic? I don't know. I don't know what the portmanteau of the etymology of the name is, but I would always say Togetic.
All right.
Well, I wouldn't say it at all because I would never use it.
Well,
Lopunny.
You're out. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Tanner and I will continue on our own.
Yeah, it was so great having you on the show.
Rate me 5 stars.
Any other so-called mispronunciations you want to call us on?
Yeah.
You have a problem with the way I say Tangela?
That one is definitely Tangela.
Tangela. Of course it's Tangela.
It's the name Angela with the T on the front.
That one is 1000%
The one that
Tangela.
always made me twitch a little bit was Growlithe.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Because I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Growlithe, right? But you guys cleared that one up.
I corrected that one, and it's Growlithe, unfortunately.
I sound like such a pompous arsehole. I'm so sorry to any listener hearing me for the first time.
No, you guys invented the dang language. If we're going to defer to anyone, it's going to be you. We just borrowed it,
Have I admitted on this show yet that in high school I had an unfortunate period where I used the Queen's English
Hell yeah.
in all my papers?
Oh, I love that. Tell me about it.
Yeah, please, give us more.
You were putting U's in words?
Yeah. I was like, and no, literally, Tanner, my excuse was, well, they invented it, so shouldn't I not use the English way of writing English?
Please, teacher, dost thou protest?
Nobody liked it.
What else did you do?
My history, AP History and AP English, even AP English, she didn't love it.
Did you go to the extent of calling trucks lorries and stuff like that? Or was it just...
I didn't use slang. It was just specifically maneuvers got the extra fucking U and the other E's and the O's and all this, and fetus with the...
Did you add an I to aluminum?
TUS? That's crazy.
That's great.
Yeah.
We can't have a single European guest on this show without hassling them about their language.
We love it. I'll speak on behalf of Fanula and myself.
Yeah, that's part of my thing. You come on here, I gotta
exactly. We will happily be your
being European
linguistic punching bags.
Before we can get too far from Blackthorn City, though, there's a few routes to explore down here. Our options before we head towards Ecruteak are to kind of dive down Route 46, which is the route south of Blackthorn City, back towards New Bark Town. Alternatively, you can take Dark cave to get down most of the way. I did both because I wanted to catch Pokemon in both areas.
Same.
I'm in a tricky spot now where I'm kind of straining the dupes clause at this point because all I kept running into on Route 45s were things I already had.
Me too.
Unfortunately, what I eventually had to catch was a Graveler.
Woof.
Because I didn't have a Graveler.
I just killed all of them.
So you didn't catch anything here?
I chose not to. I was like, I have all this. Killed it.
Yeah.
It was a Graveler. Was my 5th one. I
was pretty lucky in Heart Gold because on Heart Gold on that Route 45 just south of Blackthorn, you get Phanpy, the little elephant, and you get Gligar. And I caught a Gligar.
I just didn't get anything cool like a Phanpy. But that sounds great. I would have loved a Phanpy.
Phanpy is cute as shit.
I did get a Phanpy on the next part of the route.
Down at Route 46. But anyway, before that, let's talk about Dark Cave, because Dark Cave is the other route down. And sure enough, it's a dark cave. You need flash to get through it, or you can just use the little halo of light, which is what I did. I caught a Wobbuffet.
Wobbuffet.
I will say.
Wobbuffet, yeah.
Wobbuffet. It's got the word buffet in it, so I guess it's a Wobbuffet.
It's Buffet, isn't
I
it?
think that's a Wobbuffet.
Yeah, Wobbuffet.
Wobbuffet, yeah. And it's such a cool thing, which I only recently realised.
Wobbuffet.
Is that it's based on like one of those punching bag, those like knockback punching bags, which is why it can only learn counter and mirror move.
Oh shit! I didn't.
Isn't
know
that such an awesome piece of trivia?
Is that your theory?
No, that's
or is
genuinely
that's
like what it's based on. It's one of those punching bags that's got the weight at the bottom that then bounces back whenever you hit it, which is why it can only learn. I think it can learn like safeguard as well, but
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, counter for physical moves and mirror move for special attacks. What's really cool is that sort of started off this real trend that Pokemon has for using inanimate objects as inspiration. When up until that point, Gen 1 was largely just like goldfish and other random zoo animals.
Mostly goldfish, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks. It kicked off a terrible trend where everything became like ice cream cones and
whipped cream,
key rings and stuff like that.
Swords.
Is that next gen, Josh, that we have to start dealing with?
Yeah, we're close.
Vanillux and stuff like that?
We're on the cusp.
Yeah, Gen 5.
And that garbage
Gen
bag?
5 was the real turning point.
Garbage bag, I think. Garbodor. Is I think it's Gen 5, right?
That's it.
Am I wrong?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just go for inanimate object Pokemon next gen.
That's bound to happen.
I had a dream, speaking of Wobbuffet, to run a team in the future that's all Pokemon that can only learn like less than 5 moves. So like
Smeargle.
What's his name? Smeargle can only learn 1 move, and like Ditto and Wobbuffet.
Unknown.
Yeah. That would suck. God, that would be brutal, wouldn't it?
But it would be so entertaining.
I might do it still. I don't think there's that many Pokemon, though, is the problem. So I would need to figure something out. I would need to send a Pokemon to that game.
Yeah, you'd need to like breed them all so that they're all like level 1 or level 5, and then trade them all over to start your game off.
Right, and just release my starter. I encountered Pokemon.
Okay.
In Dark Cave.
Sure.
That
same.
I hate. I think it's maybe a dead heat between Gloom and this Pokemon for the Pokemon I hate the most.
Wow.
The Pokemon that makes me barf the most. And it's my You Make Me Barf Pokemon of the Week, and it's Dunsparce.
Can I say something? I don't want to butt in. It's your segment.
I've said all I need to say. We've talked about it before. It's unsettlingly large. It's gross. It only lives in dark caves. Imagine walking through a dark cave and feeling one of these things put its little mouth on you.
Looks like a grub, and it doesn't evolve for some reason.
Ugh. Even though it should clearly be the pre-evolution of Gligar.
So can I say, obviously, I already hated Dunsparce.
Yep.
Who doesn't?
Right.
But what I discovered this week, because I had not been in Dark Cave. I avoided it, if you recall.
Last time.
I avoided it to save it.
Oh, right. From the bottom.
As like, I'm going to bank it, and maybe I'll get something good in here that I want, which obviously that was fucking flawed.
Right.
There's nothing in here that I want.
I guess I caught a Geodude in here already, so I should probably release my Wobbuffet. Not that I was going to use the Wobbuffet.
Yeah,
anyway.
That's another mayor cheat for you.
Sorry.
I don't think we're going to see either of those things on the field.
No.
Now, let me send this to you if you're unfamiliar. So, if you go to the sprites section of Dunsparce, I had not seen it in this gen, obviously, until this week. And so you look at Heart Gold, it acts as though it's flapping around, And its mouth opens, and where you think the mouth would be, it's not where the mouth is, and it's worse.
I know, it's really upsetting.
It's like above the little blue thing is its flap mouth.
It's like a little goatee.
You would think that the blue thing is its mouth, and it opens like more of a slit, which is disgusting to say, but a little bit of like a slit right there.
You'd think that the blue things were fangs,
and
right?
instead, it's the top of the blue thing that connects with the yellow, the beige part. And I really, I already hated this fucking thing, and this is a big, like, I think it's the most disgusting Pokemon I've seen now.
Yeah.
I hate where that mouth is.
I hate where the mouth is, too.
When you discover where, like, a halibut or, like, a flounder's mouth is, you know?
I don't know that much about fish, but the little, like, spiky bits look like a bug's, like, sort of mandibles, you know?
Exactly. That's where the mouth should be.
And then imagine, like, if a bug, like, looked at you with his little mandibles and then opened a mouth above it. Like, ugh, gross.
This isn't where the mouth is.
Ugh, gross. Origin.
So I hate this thing, and you're right.
It's based on a cryptid.
It's disgusting.
Oh, we talked about this. Gross little snake.
Malformed rattlesnake. Gross.
Yeah.
Flounder situation. Alex, any thoughts?
You're sort of a Dunsparce defender, Alex, is what I'm to understand.
Not so much a Dunsparce defender. I have no sort of real feelings on Dunsparce. I will, however, defend.
That means you're a defender. That's like saying you have no like real opinion of fascism. You know, it's like, okay, Switzerland.
Right, exactly.
No, but my boy Ambipom, I will defend until my dying breath.
We're not talking about that.
Oh God,
I'm redacting this entire section. No.
Ambipom is just as bad.
That's disgusting. It's whacking people around with its big udder
Cumberland
arms.
sausage fingers.
Ugh. Ambipom.
Alex, think about what you just said, and you're defending that. You're going to stand by that, and you have students.
I know.
So if they ever,
I should be an upstanding member of society, but I don't know. I love Apom. I loved it when Gen 4 was released and it had this evolution. I just really like it. I really like it. I really love him. I love him so much.
You saw Apom and you were like, oh man, I wish that it had two hand tails and that the fingers were like swollen.
Engorged.
Right.
Like visibly swollen.
Like they need to be milked.
Yeah. And like what's coming out of there is going to be like pus. It's not going to be milk.
Definitely.
Ugh. Gross.
And Alex, you were like, yeah, I'll do it.
I volunteer as tribute. I volunteer as tribute.
Wow.
All right. We didn't invite you on the show just
a rag on me.
To talk about your bad taste in Pokemon.
I will say though, guys, just on the topic, Tanner, when you were saying that Dunsparce should be this like pre-evolution to Gligar, because I caught a Gligar in Route 45, and just on the back of when you were asking me about like with this naming convention of like nicknaming these Pokemon after like variants of wine, like how do you sort of come up with these ideas? So I started Googling whether there was some kind of wine that contained scorpion like venom or something. Anyway, so my Gligar is nicknamed Habushu, and Habushu is a type of rice wine made in Okinawa in Japan, where it is fermented with a live snake inside the bottle. Gag.
Does the snake continue to live?
That's legal?
No, the snake is like drowned inside the bottle, and then its carcass ferments with the wine.
That sounds pretty bad.
Does it get ripped at least? I don't know.
Probably.
And basically, fun fact, it's believed to be a sexual aid for men with erectile dysfunction because the Habu Viper can mate for up to 26 hours in one session. So it's essentially like its infusion with this rice wine helps guys get it up.
I think that only works for perverts who like can only get it up knowing that they've killed something, they can't finish unless they like snuff out someone's life.
Viagra seems a little more straightforward,
Yeah. Have you had it?
I've been to Okinawa, but I didn't actually sample the delights of the Habushu. Maybe next time.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe we can all take a trip together and go try some snake wine.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll report back on that.
On the other side of Route 45 and the Dark Cave is Route 46, which is kind of the last little leg of this downhill slope between Blackthorn City and New Barktown. It's chock full of trainers, chock full of grassy knolls, full of Pokemon. Once again, the dupe's claws kept me from catching anything interesting, so I had to resort to headbutting And I caught a Heracross, and I was pretty excited to catch a Heracross.
Damn it, man.
So
That's
good.
I've been trying to get this entire game.
And I'm not running it.
It's too late in the game, isn't it? It's too late in the game to be acquiring mons now.
Yeah.
Way too late in the game.
At this point, I'm only going to run something else if something dies.
Well, that's the thing is Rotom died, so I swapped someone in, and I was well on my way to training that Pokemon up, so I was like, I'm not going to bring a Heracross in now. But also, as you know, I've sworn off fighting-type Pokemon, and I already have a Bug-type, so
Right.
I have no use for Heracross on my team.
I got a Fampy.
So cute.
Vampy.
So cute.
It's a little sweetie, but it's been a sweetie before, specifically on this route, so it's not getting sweetie treatment right now.
If Joshy Sweetie has not gone to Fampy, I am desperate to know what it has gone to, because that thing is cute as shit.
Me too.
I just think that I specifically gave sweetie treatment to Fampy in Fire Red, Leaf Green, so it's too parallel
Right.
to do it again on the Nuzlocke.
Josh, did you hang a left to head towards Ekritique, or did you hang a right to head towards New Bark City at this point?
I went to Newbark.
After this break.
Yeah. That was good, though. I wasn't sure if you were going to do it.
I was. Joshua, I'm sorry I interrupted you. You know I hate to do that. We were talking about the end of Route 46 and where we went from there. Where did you go? Did you follow the siren call of the Kimono Girls back to Ekritique, or did you carry on with your stalwart duty and head down to Professor Elm?
Frankly, I was sick and tired of seeing and rescuing these Kimono Girls, and I decided I needed to just fucking crush them like the Spinarex they are. So I went back to Ekritique, and that's what I did. All of them. Crushed them.
I think they were asking for your help.
Yeah.
Well, they can't have it.
I hatched that egg, which you didn't even do, and they still gave you all the benefits. I hatched that fucking egg. I got nothing out of it because I don't want a Togepi.
Yeah.
So I taught them a lesson, and what I got was probably, I don't know, 15,000 experience, I think, you get out of this.
Well, and they give you the bell.
The Clear Bell? Is it the Clear Bell?
Right.
Alex, did you head towards Ekritique or did you head towards New Bark?
I headed towards Ekritique first. I'm not going to lie, the Kimono Girls gave me a run for my money.
They're pretty tough.
Yeah, and like it's that last resort. Is it last resort, the attack that all of those evolutions have, where they use all three of the other attacks first?
I know that from Brevender. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it does like 150 damage or something like that. And there was more than one occasion where it very nearly absolutely destroyed me.
Yeah, there was a few times I went down in the red with the Kimono Girls, but luckily I had like a huge supply of max potions on me. So I managed to get through. But yeah, they're surprisingly tough. So the thing about this Bug Catchers is there are, I think, 6 of them.
5.
5, yeah.
5 of them.
Because at the time, there were only 5 evolutions.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's still Gen 2. So it's like Flareon, Jolteon, Vaporeon, Umbreon, Espeon.
Right.
But in the original, they do basically nothing. And they made the Kimono Girls like a prominent feature in this one.
Well, here's the trickiest part about the Kimono Girls is they're only level 38. So at this point, I was well leveled above them, but that last resort move does absolutely just wail on you.
Yeah.
But you are also never given any opportunity to heal.
Right.
When you finish one battle, the next Kimono Girl just comes up to you and starts battling with you. So you have to heal like mid-battle, which is always tricky.
And if the leading Pokemon in your party is like a shit matchup, then you've got to switch out and take the damage of whatever it is that you're switching into. So it's, I was definitely in a bit of a sticky situation as well a couple of times.
Surprisingly tricky battle. But then once you're done, they notice that you have either the Rainbow Wing or the Silver Wing, and they will give you either the Clear Bell or the Tidal Bell, kind of respectively, which is everything you need to summon the legendary birds, Ho-Ho and Luigi.
Right.
At this point, you two split off to go to Bell Tower, right?
That's right.
Yes.
And I journeyed down to Whirl Islands, a much more difficult trip, a much more treacherous trip.
Maybe, but I would say this sucked.
Oh, did it suck? Did it suck when you had to surf and find your way through the maze of the Whirl Islands being attacked by fucking trainers that you skipped the first time around the entire time?
The entire bell tower is literally just like fucking ramps
Yeah.
that you have to just leap over, and they lead you in one direction, and then they make you
so
go
was Whirl
one
Island,
way.
except I also had to get to Whirl Island first. Whirl Island is definitely harder than...
I think maybe it's more annoying, but it's not like, I don't think Alex or I were having a good time.
There is no skill involved to the bell tower. And also what pissed me off is, you've just beaten these Kimono Girls who, like you say, all of the evolutions are at level 38.
And they don't learn Last Resort until level 50, by the way. So
Yeah, I'll have you know.
I didn't fucking love
That's
that.
cheating. That's Mayor Cheat.
Yeah, exactly. But then you get into the bell tower, which obviously is like a guarded part of, there's a gatekeeper there. You can't progress onto that part of the map until you have reached this point in the game. And then still inside the bell tower, all the Ratatas, the fact that all there are Ratatas, but they're literally level 12 or level 22 or something. Just, there is no challenge there whatsoever. Where it's, at least in Whirl Islands, okay, yeah, it is like a labyrinth, but there are, I don't know, seals and dugongs and
Yeah, man, that's
crabbies
fine.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't even write this down. I literally can't even fucking remember what I caught in there. I'm sure it's Eradicate or some shit in Bell Tower.
I caught Raticate as well.
I might have slaughtered it, to be honest. I don't know. It's like I don't care.
Whirl Islands was equally challenging because every Pokemon I encountered, every single one was one that I already had. The Dupe's Claws completely blew out here.
But you
so I
can
just didn't catch
choose
anything.
by the 5th encounter of the same thing.
I know, but I didn't because I don't want a fucking Zubat.
I think I killed everything in Bell Tower. I killed everything in Dark Cave. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
The way Whirl Islands works is you have to sort of navigate these 4 overworld islands, and then underneath them is sort of an interconnected maze of caves with ramps that you can only go one way down and all this other stuff and boulder pushing and all that. And then eventually you make your way down to this series of sort of slopes, and you can walk in one slope, and it's one of the most beautiful screens I've ever seen in Pokemon. This sort of cliff looking over the big waterfalls that Luigi lives behind. And then if you keep making your way down, you eventually get to the bottom, and the Kimono Girls are waiting for you. And you ring the title bell, and Luigi erupts from the Great Falls and takes you on. Luckily, he was only level 40.
45.
And I made fairly quick work of him. And then I turned around and talked to the Kimono Girls, who had made such a big to-do about, oh, we're finally going to summon Luigi. We'll finally have the chance to kind of capture him. And all I did was kill him, and then I talked to Zuki, the main Kimono Girl, and she said something along the lines of well, I guess if that's what you want to do.
Yeah. Yes, that is exactly what Satsuki says.
I had to slaughter Ho-Oh as well. And she was like, okay, well, if that's what you think is right, then okay.
So clearly disappointed. But she also does invite you to come back and take on Ho-Oh and Luigi again.
Yeah, they come back after, I think after the Elite Four.
Yeah, she's so scathing though. She's literally I guess they'll come back later.
Didn't love it, but okay.
So unimpressed.
Just so pissed.
A monumental part of history that's happening right now, but okay, it's fine.
But all the other ones, the other 4 Kimono Girls, are all cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice work.
Good to see this performance.
We're going to eat well tonight.
Yeah.
Ho-Oh would taste a lot better.
Lugia to me feels like halfway between a whale and a bird, and I think it would be very fatty, Kobe beef.
Get some whale blubber. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Luigi would be surprisingly tender.
I wouldn't send either one back.
I don't eat meat, so I probably would. But after Whirl Island and Bell Tower, we make our way back to our hometown. Hometown hero returns. No one gives a shit. Your mom didn't even seem to notice that you were gone. She was like, oh,
you've been gone?
Do you want to rest?
Are you bothering me about your money?
Do you want your money?
Yeah, I'm just here sitting on this massive pile of gold like Scrooge McDuck.
God, I swear to you two, my mom called me, I think, 5 times as I was journeying across Route 27 and Route 26 in Kanto and told me she had bought products for me. And they had better be good products. I think at this point, after you're in Kanto, the products really start to elevate. She sends you choice specs and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to getting that stuff.
Yeah, she's got
from mom.
Good shit these days.
The other person you want to visit in New Barktown is Professor Elm.
Yeah.
I can't remember what he says to you. Do you remember, Josh?
No.
Or Alex?
He gives you the Master Ball, doesn't he?
Oh, that's it.
And tells you to venture east towards the Elite Four.
Apparently, just to the east of New Barktown, a short surf ride away is the Kanto region. And Sure enough, you hop on the back of your, well, in my case, it was a Krabby, and you surf to the east, and the first guy you encounter is like, hey, welcome. You finally made it.
You're in Kanto, baby.
Yeah. He's so excited to welcome you to the Kanto region.
Check your map.
Yeah, he does say check your map, and then you do check it, and there's nothing there, so.
Yeah.
Looks like the regular map.
The first place you encounter is a house here where there's an old crone who measures your worth and sees how much your Pokemon adore you, and then will give you Sandstorm based on how much your Pokemon adore you. I don't know if it's based on your lead Pokemon or what.
It's always the lead, but
Okay.
I don't want Sandstorm. I don't care.
No.
I don't either.
If it's not Darude, I'm not interested.
But guys, we have not spoken about the mysterious cave behind the waterfall in Tohjo Falls.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that?
I did notice this. Was this in Gold and Silver, is my question.
No, it wasn't.
What cave?
In Tohjo Falls, which is like you have to cross the waterfall in order to get to the little house.
Beautiful splash screen, by the way.
Behind the waterfall, there's this little cave that when you go inside, it's completely empty, but there's just a radio.
Yeah. Broken radio.
What?
A broken radio, exactly.
What?
Basically, there was this hidden event thing that I think, and it really annoys me with these games, like when they have these hidden events that you only really have access to at the...
In like 2006 or whatever.
Literally, like on the release day. But basically, that is where Giovanni has been hiding since the disbandment of Team Rocket
really?
in the first game. Yeah. And like obviously with the big Team Rocket takeover, with the radio signals, that radio is supposed to be him like transmitting his orders to the executives that have taken over the radio tower.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
It says here, there's a cave hidden behind the waterfall. Normally, I'm on Bulbapedia. If the player enters the cave, they will find an empty cave with a broken radio. If the player takes a promotional event Celebi as a walking Pokemon to the Ilex Forest Shrine, Celebi will take the player back in time, allowing them to battle Giovanni here.
What?
And, plot twist, Giovanni is your rival's dad. The redhead rival.
Bad Josh's dad was Giovanni all the time?
Yeah. What a gag, right?
That was a big reveal as well. I didn't know this.
Makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I didn't even find this cave. I didn't even notice it was here.
Alex, we're going to give you a Joshy's fun facty for that segment.
So devastating though that we'll never be able to play. Like that is a massive story arc that literally is like the Gatekeeper is this event in 2010 which now we'll never have access to. So
some Bugg Catcher told us that there's apparently there's some website where you can kind of like access some of these lost time events, but I don't know how to figure that out, so I've never done it.
No.
Other side of Tohjo Falls is Route 26 and Route 27. Again, just like routes 46 and 45, it's just a long-ass route, full of trainers, full of grass. You can heal, but the problem is, like, to get through to the Kanto region and up the waterfalls and past the whirlpools and all that kind of stuff, I had not one but two HM friends in my party.
Oh, my God. Me too.
Krabby and Chinchu.
Golem and Tentacruel for me.
There's no way to swap them out.
Yeah.
There's a kindly old woman here who will heal your Pokemon if you rest at her house, but she doesn't have a computer system. She doesn't have access to Bill's computers.
I had to run all Victory Road with, a third of my Pokemon being bullshit.
Me too. Exactly. It sucks.
Tentacruel's level 27. Golem at least was part of my team at one point. It was level 36, but I'm not trying to use it.
Yeah.
And it's such a shame as well because Victory Road, I mean, when Josh and I spoke about me coming on this podcast, Victory Road for me is my favorite section of any of the games because the ace trainers, they are my favorite trainer class. I think the AI that is involved with programming the trainers' choices of like attacks and stuff, like they always battle with strategy. They've got some really spicy teams, some real fruity combinations of the Pokemon on their teams. And so it's fucking horseshit that because of the need to have these HM friends, you're not able to kind of really flex, training the Pokemon that you will eventually then go on to take on the Elite Four with fully, because you're chained to using these HM friends. But I will say there really is no fucking place for Ace Trainer Brian with a single level 30-something Mareep. The fuck out of here. Literally, like, trust me, you will not be making it much past Victory Road.
That could be an Ampharos!
If you think that you can rock up with a single base level, under-leveled Pokemon, Ace Trainer Brian, you can eat shit.
Fuck you, Ace Trainer
How did that
Brian.
guy even become an Ace Trainer? It's like nepotism, right? It's like
Yeah.
he knows whoever hands out he's like, the guy who hands out Ace Trainer titles is his dad or whatever.
Completely. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Ace Trainer Brian Sr. was a previous champion of the Elite Four, and so Ace Trainer Brian Jr. is just like, I don't care.
Yeah, completely.
They're gonna give me the championship no matter what.
A Mareep, though, just, like, embarrassing. So embarrassing for you, Brian.
It would be embarrassing if you had a Mareep or an Ampharos or anything like that on your team at this point.
Oh, so that's interesting, Tanner. Can I follow up on that?
Please.
Why would that be embarrassing? To have an Ampharos, for example?
It's an embarrassing Pokemon.
Why would it be embarrassing, Tanner?
Yeah.
To have an Ampharos on your team?
Because it actually learns a pretty cool move called Signal Beam, which is a bug move. And it's excellent.
Okay.
And it got me out of a lot of fucking scraps.
And Power Gem.
What does Signal Bean
Gets Power Gem at level 50-something.
What does Signal Bean do?
Chef's kiss.
75 damage, 100% hit rate. Bug move.
Bug type.
Special.
Bug type?
Yeah.
That's weird.
So it lines up with, as we talked about, that Ampharos is like the lighthouse Pokemon. So it learns Signal Beam because it's like a lighthouse, which is sort of funny.
It's a signature move of Ampharos?
No.
Oh, okay. Any old bug can learn this thing.
I think Dugong learns Signal Beam as well.
I don't have any Pokemon that learn Signal Beam because I don't use bad basic Pokemon like you two. We're finally back in the Kanto region, and we finally have access to more of those sweet Kanto Pokemon. So I will say that on Route 26, I caught a Ponyta.
I got a Ponyta.
Me too.
On Route 27, I caught a Quagsire.
I got a Quagsire.
Sandslash.
Ooh, Sandslash.
That's fun.
Grenache, the Sandslash.
That's good. You made them rhyme. I don't plan on using either of these Pokemon, but you know my stance on Ponyta, or more specifically on Rapidash.
Oh, so handsome.
Just like powerful.
So handsome.
Lots of muscles. Pretty interesting. Yeah.
Also, did you guys find the little house for the weekday siblings?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I was there on a day that it was significant.
I think it's literally just like a signpost for the fact that, like, they are a family. But I will say that it is such a small feature of Gen 2 that I just find so charming. The fact that there are these 7 siblings that just, their mission is to just spread joy and help passing trainers. I just think that is such like a tiny little feature of this generation that is just super cute. I find them really endearing.
The fact that they're a family feels a little nefarious to me. It feels a little bit like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre family.
Yeah.
It's just like they're waiting to kind of coax you in with their like little prizes. And like you fell for it. You went right into their house. Did you even hesitate before walking into their house, Alex?
I thought they'd be like the Von Trapps from The Sound of Music, that they'd like burst into song, they'd be like have clothes made out of curtains, shit like that, but
No, they have clothes made out of human skin.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, then we made our way up Route 27 and 26. Luckily, there is that woman there who will heal you.
Yeah.
But then it's time for Victory Road, what is historically one of the most challenging routes in any Pokemon game.
Yeah, I didn't find that.
No, such a disappointing effort from the Victory Road Cave in this gen.
It's a lot shorter than I remember.
There's no trainers in it.
No. Even Bad Josh at the end of the cave says like, "Oh, you may have noticed that everyone like wussed out,
Cleared out.
You know?
Yeah.
For me, it was just full of Ursa rings, which I caught one of, but I have no interest in running.
Oh, I got Don Fan.
I got a Don Fan too.
I think those are probably our version exclusives.
I mean, I've seen less EXP. You know, most of them are 600 to 800 EXP, so that's not bad.
Right.
But it sucks.
It was just way
Nothing
briefer
special.
than I remember. These Victory Roads are usually pretty long. They're pretty like complicated. They have like boulder puzzles. This one like did not have much.
It was real blue ballsy, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
But
yeah.
the thing it did have going for it is like you still have 2 HM friends in your party. You still haven't been back to a Poke Center in ages. You haven't been back to a Pokemart in ages.
Well, I did buy like 30 hyper potions before I even went on this path.
But like if you are unprepared, it can be challenging because especially at the end, because you've made your way through Tohjo Falls, up 26, up 27, in through Victory Road, and then just as you're about to leave, you get attacked by your rival.
Yeah.
And I think of all the rival battles we've had and all the gens, even though I was still pretty over-leveled compared to him, I struggled. He was tough. I had to drop a lot of potions as I was battling Bad Josh this time.
So my naming theme with my rival is very much in the same theme as Bad Josh. Ever since I was a teenager, my rival in every Pokemon game that I've ever played has always had the same name, which was the name of my high school bully, called Dean.
Fucker.
And I have such an aversion to the name Dean.
Like
Every single Dean that I've ever met has always been such a dick. So yeah, it's always very satisfying to know that I'm wiping the floor with my high school bully. But it wasn't such a challenge for me.
For you, it would have been a level 36 Sneasel, level 38 Golbat, level 37 Magneton, level 37 Kadabra, level 37 Haunter, and a level 40 for Alligator.
Yeah, and all that, but level 40 Typhlosion.
Yeah. My HM friends are like integrated into my team, so I kind of didn't really... And also, you can fly back once you reach the entrance.
I didn't have my fly friend with me, though.
Mm.
I just had my water move friends with me.
No, so once you reach like the gate to get into the cave, you can fly back to New Barktown and then sort of like flip back and forth.
That probably would have been the better move.
So I had my full team of 6, really, so it wasn't too much of a challenge for me in the same way that it would have been if I had the HM friends that I had at the start of Victory Road.
Right. Josh, did you have any trouble with our boy?
No, because Alakazam is super effective against 3 of them.
Right.
And Magmortar, which is what I ended up having, is super effective against 2 of them. And then Poliwrath for Typhlosion. So
not bad.
It was a joke, honestly. It was a joke.
I didn't lose any Pokemon or anything like that. It was a surprisingly difficult fight for me. Once you're through Victory Road,
Indigo Plateau, baby.
you're on to the Elite Four, baby. We finally made it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Poke Center and a Pokemart here in the Indigo Plateau, so we finally had an opportunity to get our fly HM friends out and fly around and heal and take care of any last business before we head into the Elite Four. And what I mostly did was hang out at the north entrance of Victory Road and grind out some Ursa rings.
Yeah.
Until all of my Pokemon were at least level 50.
That's what I did as well.
I mean, that was going to be my next question, was like, how did you guys go about grinding? Because did you know that with the phone, I always thought, honestly, like up until this playthrough, that the only way you could re-battle trainers was you had to wait for them to call you. But did you know that you can call them up to battle them?
No.
Yeah.
So like, obviously all of those, there are like 3 or 4 ace trainers in that leg of Victory Road that give you their number.
All ask you for their number.
And they've all got like Pokemon in their 40s, like late 30s. At a certain time of day, you can keep on calling them up again and again and again and again and just re-battle them.
Yeah.
Why am I only finding this out now?
I didn't know that. I did fight a few of them a few times, but that was because they just dialed me up. And I was like, oh, it's triggered by me actually being at Indigo Plateau.
No, it's triggered by the time of day.
And it shows up on the map.
Yeah.
Right.
You can look at the town map and it finally shows like, oh, this person is here and they want to battle you, which I loved as well.
No, so it's triggered by the time of day. So like, let's say, for example, Ace Trainer Jamie, who's like the one just before you go into the Victory Road cave, you can call her on a Monday between 4 a.m. and 10 a.m. And literally between the hours of 4 a.m. and 10 a.m., you can call her up and battle her however many times you want. You literally just, like, you're like right next to her and you call her up and she's like, oh my God,
wow.
Come and battle me now. Yeah, I know. I don't know, no words. I'm so frustrated with myself that I only found this out now.
I think I discovered that accidentally because someone called me asking me for a fight and I wasn't near them. So once I was near them, I called them for a fight and discovered that you could call them for a fight.
But it's just such a quick way of leveling your Pokemon rather than just like battling wild ones, because obviously the experience yield from trainer battles is so much higher.
If you hang out right at the northern entrance to Victory Road, so you can like bop in and get healed anytime, like it's pretty efficient.
It was pretty efficient.
The Victory Road Pokemon are not that high level, but I think it's mindless in a nice way. You can just kind of like,
oh God,
watch something on TV and grind out levels.
It'll give you like an aneurysm from how mind-numbing it is.
Yeah.
Speaking of levels,
you want to do it?
Level check?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's just do it.
Alex, you're our guest. I would love to learn about the team that I am about to absolutely devastate when we battle after talking about the Elite Four.
Well, I would love to tell you about them. So, leading the party, I have Shiraz, the Ampharos, level 49.
Okay.
And this has been with me since way back around Violet City. I think I caught it on that route just south from Violet City, just before battling Faulkner.
Yeah.
And so it's been like an OG since day one. I then have Suave, the Vileplume, level 46, and caught as a baby Oddish in Ilex Forest. I basically got carpal tunnel from like tapping my stylus on the screen so hard during the fucking Pokethlon trying to get a bloody leaf stone to evolve this thing, but finally got there in the end. I have Zinfandel, the Heracross, level 46, caught somewhere from headbutting a tree. Such a beast. I've never actually run a Heracross before, so it's been a lot of fun raising him. And such a diverse move pool as well.
Yeah, I think they're very fun.
So much fun. Another complete newbie to me, which is quite hard to believe considering how much I love Gen 1 water types, but Albarinia, the Sea King, coming in at I'm going to say whopping level 51, but I'm pretty sure all of you guys have over-leveled now. So I'm literally just going to bite the dust. But she was a latecomer. I caught her in that route between Ecruteak and Mahogany, worked super hard to raise that Goldeen and teach it Blizzard, which was the eventual undoing of Lance. But yeah, so much fun. And also, like, Seeking has such a great defense stat, surprisingly.
Does it?
Yeah, which I was really, like, it was a really pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Next, I have Syrah, the Crobat, level 47, caught in a friend ball as a Zubat in Union Cave. So I had access to Crobat quite early on, like, as soon as it evolved into Golbat, literally the next level it evolved into Crobat, which is, like, awesome. I don't think I've even run a Crobat before, so yeah, it can outspeed anything, which is awesome. And then lastly, which is kind of like my Chancellor of the X-Cheetah Pokemon, because I acquired it very early on through a strategy which basically there's this random guy in
so you're
Violet City.
Whatever you're about to say, you're mirror cheat. Let's speed it up.
I also just like really quickly want to call you out on your wine knowledge because you said your Ampharos is named Shiraz.
Yeah.
And your Crobat is named Syrah.
And they're the same variety, aren't they?
Thing.
But they're just like one's fancier sounding the other one.
It's the same exact kind of wine.
Uh-oh.
Just different names.
Yeah, different sort of like international name. But no, so basically there's this random guy in Violet City.
Okay.
There's this website which randomly generates this password based on your trainer ID, and he will give you a Slugma egg. So, presenting Rioja, the Macargo, level 46, which was a fucking labor of love raising this thing because Slugma is shit. And it doesn't evolve until literally level 38. It is so slow. And it's really not that great for a long time, but as a Macargo, great move pool, such incredible defense, you know, being that dual rock and fire type, lots of fun battling with this thing now that it's in its prime. So yeah, there is Vino's team.
Wow. Joshua, tell me about Stanner's team this week.
Stanner ended up with, honestly, I did not think I would end up in this situation, but I like where I ended up. And here's where I ended up. Fred Van Vliet, Ampharos, still here, level 52.
Yeah.
Who's 52? It's Ampharos. Rosenkrantz, still alive, not dead. Meganium, level 51.
Good.
Tolkien, Alakazam, level 54.
That's a heavy hitter.
Because that was the one you could just deploy in like any scenario where it's like, okay, well, Bruno, obviously, you know, one hit KO for any of these fuckers.
Right.
But then also there were like Karen's Vileplume. There's like Will's Slowbro or whatever. And my Alakazam has Shadow Ball. So I could throw Alakazam out against basically any Pokemon. And it was trouble. Yeah. Faster than all of them.
A good psychic type will take you so far in that Elite Four.
Yeah. I had to learn that the hard way.
Yeah, me too.
Wickrackram, Obama Snow finally came into itself, level 52. Save my ass on Lance. I suppose we'll get to that.
I had no idea that Ice type was effective against Dragon type.
Super effective.
I honestly couldn't tell you before we encountered Lance this week. I don't know if I could have told you a single Pokemon type that was effective against. Here's what I would have guessed. Electricity, and that's not the case.
No, it's not at all.
No.
So let me tell you, Obama Snow learns Blizzard at level 47.
Yeah.
But Snow Warning, its ability, which triggers the hailstorm, means that Blizzard hits 100% of the time.
All right.
I also threw some choice specs on him and made that Blizzard 1.5 times as powerful, baby.
Great.
I jacked him up on Carbos, and then for Lance's battles, I just flung him out against all the Dragonites, and it was just like Blizzard one-hit KO, Blizzard one-hit KO, Blizzard
And you
one-hit.
abominated his ass.
Great. I'm super looking forward to battling your fucking super fast Abomasnow.
Yeah, it's jacked up, baby. Then we have CJ Craig, Polyrath, level 52.
Great.
And Kaladin, Magmortar, level 52 as well.
Ugh. It's like, what if Mega Man sucked? You know?
I have come to love Magmortar.
Have you?
I think it's cool as hell.
Look at its lips.
Yeah.
Sweet kissable lips. And that's what you like about it, is the kissable lips.
Let me tell you something, Tanner, in fact. Not Magmortar, but Magmar when it comes out. And this is a big reason why I wanted to evolve it. When Magmar comes out and you're looking at it from your side, it goes...
Yeah, it does a little kiss.
It like comes out and does a little smooch. Air smooch.
And that'll psych you out. I think like boxers do that all the time at their weigh-ins, you know? Like
I would.
they'll do little smooches at one another. It really psychs people out.
I would probably kiss the other
do the
player.
kiss. Yeah. Magmortar's got big, sweet, kissable lips. He's got a big, kind of fun belly and chicken legs, and then in those arm cannons too. There's a lot happening there.
Yeah, and Tanner,
It's a look.
what do you have? What do you have happening?
You want to know about my team?
Give it to us.
It's about time.
The gift of parenthood, Executor,
Yeah.
level 53.
Okay.
Been on the team for a while. My second Executor, still loving it. Go to.
It's great. It's great.
Save a Fox, 9 Tails, level 51.
You're still saving that fox. Okay.
I should explain, my guy is called Attorney Will. He, all his Pokemon are named after charities, and if any of them die, I have to donate to that charity.
Oh yeah, and I'm naming all mine after things that Tanner loves because if they die, it sucks for him.
Met Opera, Jinx, level 52. Everglade Foundation for Alligator, level 52. Three Rivers, Sizor, level 58.
That's a nightmare.
Yeah,
And that's inexplicable. Why is your Sizor at level 58?
because I just was having such a blast with him, man.
What was it doing?
Owning bones is what he was doing.
Okay.
And then because I had to release Rotom last week, I trained up a new Pokemon that I caught in the Dragon Den. Welcome to the team, Blue Dragon, Dragonite, level 55.
Unbelievable.
What the fuck?
Completely fucking unbelievable.
How on earth?
BlueDragon.org. Blue Dragon finds children and young people in crisis situations, slavery, homelessness, and extreme poverty, and helps them out.
How on earth?
Right after the most recent episode that we recorded, you were like, nah, I can't be bothered with having to raise another Dratini for 55
I know,
levels.
but then I had to release my Rotom.
Okay.
Then I made the noble choice to release my Rotom, and I had to fill it with something. I went into the Elite Four battle feeling very nervous. Most of my Pokemon were level 50 at that point. A few of them had already evolved past level 50, but I still was feeling a little anxious. I didn't look up any of the Elite Four trainers. I just used context clues to try to figure out who all of them were and what their things were, which is a mistake, I will say, because you walk into Bruno's chamber and it's covered in lava, and you're like, Fire-type Pokemon. No worries there. For Alligator, top of the heap.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that he's a fucking fighter-type Pokemon. So you can't rely on their room designs to figure out what type of Pokemon there are. So don't do it, Bugg Catchers. I still did not have too much trouble. I think stopping between each battle and getting the opportunity to heal and recover some PP with ethers made the Elite Four a pretty quick trip for me. The one I really struggled with was Lance, but once I discovered that Jinx with all her Ice-type moves was super effective against Lance, it became much easier.
I will say two things. I did do the Polyrath move tutor thing where I had it relearn Hypnosis.
Right.
So I opened up the Karen battle with Hypnosis on the Umbreon hit, actually, and then fucking Wake Up Slap. Next turn, 1-hit KO.
Yeah.
And then Lance would have been a problem, except, as I mentioned, I guess this will be redundant. Because Abomasnow has Blizzard now, I just flung a Blizzard at all of them.
Yeah.
And the first one did try to use Fire Blast, but it missed.
Oh, that's nice.
So I think I potentially could have lost Abomasnow very easily, but that one missed. And so it was just a Blizzard, one-hit KO, and then swap them out, used Ampharos on the... it's sort of easy. Like, it's Charizard, Gyarados, Aerodactyl.
Ugh, and that's my second You Make Me Barf Pokemon of the week.
One-hit KO with Discharge from Ampharos on all of them.
Yeah, I was the same.
His Dragonites were so surprising because, like, you forget
They do
that
have interesting moves.
Dragonite can learn, like, weird moves. So, like, one of them has Thunder, one of them has Blizzard, one of them has Fire Blast, and of course you, like, never expect it. But then his beefy Dragonite, the level 51, also has this move called Outrage, which, oh boy, that hits so hard.
Oh yeah, that's a dragon move.
Yeah, completely.
That one took me down quite a bit each time he wheeled me with it, but it lasts for a few turns too, so like your only option is to just sit and heal between turns.
But at least it confuses it as
it
well,
does
though.
confuse it at the end, yeah.
That was the sort of the saving grace for me. I didn't really have too much trouble with many of them. Just quite a few battles that went on for a long time. Like fucking Whirl. The fact that all of his Pokemon have access to Psychic, which is just like such a super powered move.
Yeah.
And he's so lazy with it. Like he will just spam Psychic the whole time, which is so irritating. Koga, Crobat, and Muck using Minimize and Crobat using Double Team.
Ugh.
And it just makes it so difficult to hit it. Like if you're like setting an attack up or something like, or like, you know, if you've got an attack that missed and then they manage to use another Minimize or another Double Team, it just extends it by that much longer.
Yeah, Minimize is pretty brutal.
Oh, yeah.
Is there like a workaround for, like, I'm convinced that there's a workaround for Minimize, which is like...
Use Foresight.
Swift.
Yeah, Aerial Ace.
There are workarounds.
Okay.
Yeah, use those ones that like can't miss, or if you use things like Foresight, that will, but it's like, who takes a Pokemon to the Elite Four that still has Foresight?
Yeah.
I think that's the only one that completely sets the evasion back to 0.
Right. The other one that kind of got me fucked up a few times was... Karen's Murkrow has Feint Attack, and she kept using Feint Attack on me, and like, I don't remember what Pokemon I had in, but man, did it hit so hard.
Oh, I killed that thing immediately.
Really?
Tanner, that's what life would be like if you had an Ampharos on your team.
Oh, no, thank you. Also, just kind of level my normal complaint at the game, which is, this is 5, it's the Elite 5.
Yeah.
There's 5 of them.
Yeah.
There's not even an excuse this time. It's not your rival anymore at the end of it. It's just Lance. So just call it the Elite 5. That's the game. Roll credits. We immortalize our team in the Hall of Fame. We get the little snapshot of our trainers posing in front of the team.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Game Boy just stops working in a way that's very confusing. And what you have to do is turn off your Game Boy and turn it back on to end up back at your house in New Bark City to kind of continue your journeys. But we will discuss that next week when we are back to chase some... Well, I don't know. Josh, do we chase waterfalls now or do we chase waterfalls after Kanto?
After Kanto.
Okay, well then...
If we can pull it off. And frankly, based on how the past 2 weeks have gone, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But we're going to try to do 2 gyms per week.
I don't think I'll have any issue with that.
I don't think so either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I might.
So we'll be back next week to take on Brock and Misty,
That's right.
I think, in the Kanto region.
Cerulean and Pewter.
We still have one big thing left to do, gentlemen, which is decide the fate of our podcast by battling. So, Alex, I know you're a listener, so you're probably aware, but I don't know if you knew this coming in, is that we're going to battle you now. First, Josh and I are going to battle to determine who the champion of Experience Share is, and then we'll battle you, and if you should lose, you do have to turn over all the rights and social handles and, feed of Gotta Snatch Em All, your hit Pokemon podcast.
And then it's ours.
It is a risk I'm willing to take.
That's interesting you say that because you are pretty underleveled compared to us. But let's see what happens, and we'll go from there. Bugg Catchers, we'll be back in just a moment. Josh and I are going to battle, and then we'll check in with you and let you know how that battle goes. Joshua, what a battle.
I guess.
Hairy. It got very close for me. There's no reason I should have lost that battle, and I didn't.
No, but it looked like you might I got it down to just one. It ended up in a one-on-one battle.
One-on-one, Polyrath versus Executor. Both damaged, both with status effects. I was paralyzed, you were poisoned. And it went down to one hit. And your Earthquake luckily did not do much damage to my Executor.
Yeah, I didn't really have a better option.
So I polished you off. And I won, and I beat you, and I'm the champion of Experience Share Pokemon Podcast.
For now.
And now I have the honor of taking on Alex and seeing if we can claim his podcast for our grand Pokemon podcast empire here.
I mean, if that battle was anything to go by, guys, I don't smoke, but I feel like I need a cigarette after that. That was like the most intense.
Yeah.
Like, they were downplaying it. Josh literally took Tanner down from like 6 Pokemon to 1 in the space of about 8 turns.
I lost like 3, and then I was like, okay, fine. Yeah. And then I brought out Obama Snow, and I just went fucking like haywire.
They were downplaying it. It was a stellar performance from both.
Yeah. So I'm going to take on Alex now and try to claim his podcast as our own, which will honestly probably just end up losing to Fanula or someone else at some point. So
my right-hand gal.
She owns it already. Yeah. Bandwagons already has it. So
Fanula and I now co-own the Experience Share podcast.
Everything is offshore now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, Alex, I'm going to challenge you now, Bugg Catchers. I will not be back because I do have to run, but Alex and Josh will check in with you after this battle to let you know how soundly I beat Alex. So we'll see you in just a few minutes, Bugg Catchers.
Honestly, I don't really want to talk about it. Alex, do you want to talk about it?
I don't really want to talk about it either.
It felt like a little bit of a hate crime.
During Pride Month, honestly, the disgrace of it all. I will say, just as a disclaimer, obviously my Pokemon were severely underleveled, and I felt like I held my own. I mean, I managed to knock out one of Tanner's team. Yeah, I lost. Oh my god, he mopped the floor with me. He kicked me to the curb. Spat on me a bit. It was just, it was really, really poor show.
It was pretty fucked up. Yeah, it was pretty fucked up.
I will say though as well, I made a massive error when I was inputting my team. I forgot to give Macargo Lava Plume. I accidentally gave it like another random attack, which meant that it had no fire attacks, which meant that every time...
no fire moves.
It had no fire moves. It had literally like 3 rock type moves and Yawn, and every time Tanner brought out Scizor, I didn't have a fire attack to be able to annihilate it. So, yeah, it was just sort of like a game over from the first turn, really. But needless to say, a lot of fun. And I admit defeat. I tip my bonnet to you both. I bequeath the keys to my podcast.
We will keep the Experience Share IP, and we will humbly accept Gotta Snatch Em All as part of our umbrella network. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on, Alex. Tanner had to leave because of some sort of, I don't know, he's a father, who knows anymore.
Some kind of dad emergency, I don't know.
It's like I had to, make sure my child is living.
A half-baked excuse, if ever I've heard one.
And not the kind of excuse that we want to hear about during Pride Month. What we want to hear about is some gay things. So, Alex, tell us about your show and where people can find it and where to find you as well.
Oh, thank you so much. It would be a pleasure. Yeah, so I host a Pokemon podcast of my own called Gotta Snatch Em All, where I interview queer people and our allies from the entirety of the LGBTQIA+ spectrum, all about the significance of the Pokemon franchise to them, from their childhood to their adolescence and then into queer adulthood. And it's taken off in a really nice way. It's not been going for very long, but, I've been really lucky enough to have some big names already, come on and be interviewed, like some of the Drag Race and Dragula Queens. And of course, the Holy Trinity itself of Fanula Jones, Anthony Smith and Josh Fjellstad.
That's right.
You better believe it. So you can find Gotta Snatch Em All anywhere you get your podcasts, really. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And it is absolutely not exclusive to just queer listeners. It is for anybody who is after some wholesome Pokemon content, really.
Yeah, it's sort of like if you are looking for a little after hours content, if you watch Insecure, for example, HBO always has those kind of like kickback sessions, wind down kind of a thing. The episodes that myself, Fanula, and Tony are all on on Gotta Snatch Em All are all kind of like a kickback session. So it's a great show in general, but if you want to get a little bit more kind of background about any of us, great place to go. Only place to go, in fact. Tanner has left us, as I'm sure he would say. You can find us anywhere you find your podcasts. You can catch us there, and you can follow us on any social media that you would normally find us on. You can find us on reddit.com/r/Bugg Catchers. You can check out our merch at expsharemerch.com. And we will be doing, what did we say? Cerulean Pewter next week?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a crunchy timeline, isn't it? Because when you take the SS Aqua over to Vermilion City, you've then got to, like, do the whole, I mean, spoiler alert, guys, like the whole thing with the missing machine part and everything. So
right, you have to do the power plant.
Yeah, the power plant has to come first before you can access all of those other areas, like within Kanto. But, I mean, I think it's definitely manageable. You know, the Kanto region, there's really not that much kind of like happening between the different cities and stuff, so...
Editor's note, we got this one completely wrong, and actually you should play Vermilion Gym and Saffron Gym and up through routes 24 and 25 just north of Cerulean City, but do not do Power Plant. We'll be doing that the week after next. We're human, not Pokemon, and thus we make mistakes, and we're sorry for that. We're saying we're going to do 2 gyms per week because it is sort of short from what we recall. It was sort of a joke, but we'll see. Alex, thanks again for joining us.
You can find me on Instagram at gottasnatchemall.pod and Twitter at gottasnatchemal. Please do, like Josh said, go and check out Josh and Fanula and Tony's episodes, and hopefully, if he can find the time for me amidst his, parenting ties, Tanner's episode 2 in the future.
He's an ally, as we say.
Absolutely, he's a shining beacon of virtue to our community. But honestly, Josh, I said at the beginning, I'll say it again. Thank you so much for what you and Tanner do in creating this, and I know that I speak on behalf of so many of your listenership. That it has just been such a saving grace, really, sort of like throughout the pandemic and week by week, gym by gym. It's been something really to look forward to every single Tuesday. So an enormous thank you from us as the listeners to you guys, really.
Thank you, honestly. But then also, I would say, on the selfish side of things, like it's been a good excuse for Tanner and I to end up hanging out every week now that he fled New York for
hit the ejector seat button.
The province of Connecticut. So very happy that it translates to everyone else, but it is a great time for us as well. So Alex and the rest of the Bugg Catchers, I will smell you later.
Bye, guys.